Wait, how much did I spend on head mounts? I spent about $80 on trying to do the DIY stuff, plus the monopod, which was about 30, plus the helmet, which was about like 50, plus the halo strap was about 40, plus like some extra miscellaneous stuff. That was like maybe like $20. Okay, so like about 220 for the DIY mess that I've gotten myself into. 1550 plus 220, 17. Oh my God. Wow, I've spent $2,000. I am not making this money back on YouTube at all. Great. All right, hi. If some of you have seen me on stream or on Twitter, you might have seen me demonstrate facial tracking. I've actually done a couple videos talking about iPhone face tracking, which you might see like somewhere popping up, or it might be in the description down below. So today I thought I would share my entire process and basically a lot of money that I've thrown down the drain. Now that iPhone face tracking has become a lot more popular and everyone wants to do it, because like that's like the new big thing, because it's an easy way to get great facial tracking on your model, like how I have right now. I thought it would be good to share my entire process on basically everything that I've done to get to this point. So it all started with me seeing this one video that I mentioned before in the DIY VTuber app. If you wanted to make an app like this, you can check out that video. It should be popping up somewhere here. In that video, I talked about how I saw someone who had like a custom iPhone mount that they made with a bicycle helmet and like essentially GoPro extension arms. I kind of set off to do something very similar. So what I did was I went out and got a carbon fiber monopod, and I essentially just zip tied it to a helmet. And you can see an image popping somewhere on the screen. And this actually worked okay. But there was one problem that I really had, and I think it's because mainly bicycle helmets are more or less designed to protect your noggin. Whereas what I was using it for was I was using it to hold heavy stuff. And I found that it created a lot of unnecessary pressure points. It would be pulling on places. I find like the biggest problem was that it was really not that comfortable, and it made it very uncomfortable for long-term use. So I thought there has to be another way. So I looked at my VR headset and I went, where can I find an Oculus Quest 2 Halo strap? And I found this third-party one, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. Basically, it's like a Rift S style Halo strap, and it doesn't come with the front part of the headset. And I thought, you know what? I could probably fashion something to work with it. So what I did was I bought that Halo strap, and then I essentially just zip tied the monopod to it to hold the iPhone. And my thought was like, well, it's meant to hold something very heavy in the front of your face. So instead of just having a VR headset, you know, it could just be my iPhone. And I found that it worked really, really great. However, the biggest problem that I had with that, where the monopod was secured, it would create a really strong pressure point. And I have a feeling that it was either like denting my head, or basically it would slowly give me a migraine or a headache, and it would get worse and worse the longer I used it and the more often I used it. So I'm like, okay, we need to have a different solution. And I think around this time I was making that DIY VTuber app video, and I thought, you know what about those GoPro extension arms? So I went around searching for those, and I spent about $80 or so on like bits and pieces. And the thought at the time is, you know what, I can make a video on this, and like I could probably easily like recoup that $80 on a YouTube video like this. And I tried a bunch of different ways. I even tried like making like a claw, so it'd like hover in front of me like this, and hoping that would work. And it did, but it would cause, it was really cumbersome. It was comfortable, but it was like, it took up a lot of space. I kept hitting stuff with it, and it kept sagging forward because like the plastic itself was too weak. And the problem was like, I was thinking, well, I could buy the metal ones, but then the metal ones would be too heavy. So I fashioned this contraption, and it was kind of comfortable. It created a pressure point on my forehead, and it was super wobbly, but it kind of worked. But the problem was is that I didn't realize how uncomfortable it was until after about an hour of use. Basically, I couldn't do any like sudden head movements like I'm doing right now. So I was thinking, okay, there has to be like another way. And I remember watching Codemiko stream when she had a head mount sent to her, an iPhone head mount that was about $1,500 US, and it looked very big and not comfortable. And I remember on her stream specifically when she was trying it out, she was unboxing it, she said, you know, it's not comfortable. I kept looking, and then eventually I found this other head mount by standard deviation. How can I solve this problem that I have? And then I kind of just like gave up on the head mount. I thought to myself, you know what? I can't take these headaches anymore. I'm just gonna pop it on like a little cell phone holder that you see like probably right there. And that's how I did it. And the problem is like, it works great. However, it's not perfect. So like, for example, I can't have as much dynamic head movement. I can't just get up and like walk away and still have facial tracking like I do right now. It just doesn't work that way because it only tracks for a certain distance. And I really missed having that mount on my face to have that tracking at all times. And the closer the iPhone is to your face as well is like the better the tracking it will be versus having it further away. Like essentially it was always like an arm's distance away, like the maximum distance you could have while maintaining tracking. So then a fellow streamer that I've been talking to, Ayumi, said, I bought this. And I went, of course, you bought that. They got it. And they're like, it's super comfortable. I'm just like, so I bit the bullet and I bought one. And that's what I'm using right now. And what I can tell you of basically my entire DIY journey of doing it cost about $220 of like parts and stuff, DIY, all these things that I had, going through all the different things that I did to try to make it work. And ultimately, not using it. I gotta get something that works nicely. I gotta get something that's comfortable and something that I can wear on a regular basis for long periods of time. So I contacted them and they were very responsive, and they custom made, fabricated a Vive tracker holder specifically for me that would attach to it, which is awesome. I bought the iPhone head mount. I bought counterweight as recommended by them. If you're doing a lot of non-acrobatic stuff, then get the counterweight. It makes it more comfortable. If you're doing like a lot of rapid movement, then they say you don't put the counterweight on because it'll mess up with the balance of things. I paid for the shipping to Korea. I had to pay a 20% import tax. And this entire journey cost a lot of money, more money than basically the cost of a new computer, a whole computer, just for a comfortable iPhone head mount. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this so that you as well do not end up going through the same headaches that I did. And this would be my recommendation to you. Do you need an expensive head mount like this? No, you don't. You don't. Is it nice? Yes. What I would say is that if you have an iPhone and you get facial tracking for your VTuber model, or you're thinking about doing some kind of motion capture, just having the iPhone mounted where a webcam would be is more than enough that you need. If you've watched my streams any time recently, that's what I've been doing. When it comes down to actual iPhone mounts, I will link all of the parts and things in a nice little way in the description down below. It'll also be listed in my Discord server. I don't recommend it because it's a lot of DIY. It's a lot of buying weird parts that you can't really use for anything else. Ultimately, the end result is not very comfortable. And am I happy with this purchase? Essentially, the first time I put this headphone mount on, I was just like, wow, this is super comfortable. Super comfortable. Super comfortable. if you're interested in anything that I do, I will have some links in the description down below to some other videos that I recommend. They'll also be popping up somewhere on screen. And if you want to have a great conversation or have any questions, you can pop into my stream on Twitch, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.